¿Qué rollo, pinche listeners, mamones?
Hijos de la chingada, ¿cómo están, pendejos? Ay.
You have proved that you fight well. Now you can join us.
Keep copy once. Wake up, check your phone. Ignore the alarm. You're still alone. Wake up, rewind the night. Who are you? But also kind of who am I? Wake up, check your phone. Pre-party for the apocalypse.
I'm done. Talk about you.
What about me?
I want to listen to you, Crystal.
Oh, yeah. Explain. What do you want to, I don't know. What do you want to know? My week was good. I worked
Yeah.
and I'm already like tired of fucking training too. Like,
You just want to hit the floor.
I honestly just want to hit the floor so I can already get over this fucking like being nervous.
Anxiety. I get anxiety, yeah, nervous too.
Like I don't want to, like, because it's gonna be nerve-wracking when I'm on the phone. But then I kind of want to like just get it over with, and I'm just like, fuck, just push me there, like push me already, like to do it. That's the only way I'm gonna do it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good week, and today we went to go take out my mom to go eat, and then
For Mother's Day.
Yeah, because I work tomorrow, so and give her a little gift. My sister gave her gift, and
What did you guys get her?
I gave her $200, and
nice.
yeah, and I think I don't know.
Why do you have to say that? Now I feel cheap. I'm just kidding.
No, I gave her $2 and then a card.
You mean $20?
$20, yeah, sorry, and a card.
No.
And little flowers. I got her flowers too. Que no se agüite.
¿Qué vas a querer para? What do you want for Mother's Day? And she's like, quiero unos zapatos. And I'm like, okay, es que tengo unos slacks, like some dress pants, que no tengo zapatos para esos. Y no me los he puesto por eso. And I'm like,
and you're like, all right, okay. That's cool.
Y luego le digo, Mom, pero que no te, es que she's very, así con su suerita siempre, because she's always cold. Very preppy. Very like covered up, and you know, and my aunt's very like with her little
more chill,
little tank tops and spaghetti straps. Y trae los dresses and like, more.
That's
useful,
cute, yeah.
¿no? And my mom is more like, no, es que ya estoy muy grande para eso, you know?
Yeah, no, that's how my mom is. God.
Yeah, and my aunt's like, no, me gusta. Like, she's very useful, you know? So we're very different, and I tell her, ¿por qué no te compras o por qué no quieres unos sandals or something more fresco, you know? It's like, hot. No. And she's like, no, es que no me gustan porque me siento que me va a caer.
And they feel weird sometimes.
And she's like, I feel like I'm gonna fall, or I feel like someone's gonna step on me because they've done it before. And
yeah,
I think
that shit hurts.
Like,
traumatized. That shit hurts.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Especially your pinky. Oh God.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll get you some shoes.
That's cute. So you send her the money and then.
Yeah, I'll send her the money.
Oh, that's cute.
I'll send her the money because I can't. Like, even though I'll like something, but I don't know if she's gonna like it.
You don't know if she's gonna. Well, how come you don't tell her? You could also tell her to pick something from online.
No, she won't.
She says she doesn't do all that.
She actually does go online. It's funny because she'll go online for like noticias or like.
But not like for shopping.
Like telenovelas and shit like that, you know?
That's cute.
But not for shopping. Like yesterday, she sent me a little picture, dude, and it's so cute. Me manda esto, mira. Let me see if I can. Me manda, mira qué bonito, se me hizo tan hermoso. Mira qué chiquito.
Oh, it is. How tiny is that?
But it's not real.
I know, but how tiny
is it? But she thought it was a real dog.
Oh, there's some that are like
qué bonito. Le dije, Mom, no es de verdad. Es una taza, nada más una little statue.
Tacita, sí.
And then she's like, no es de verdad.
Ay, dude, they have some cute ones that look fake and they're real.
Le digo, no, pero si tienen así chiquitos. But she'll send me random shit like that.
Qué bonita.
Yeah, she's like, mira. But I think she wants a dog, but she wouldn't have one.
It's because, dude,
I
even
told
if they
her.
don't want one, dude, they fall in love with it.
No, pero es que la cosa es que mi mom dice, no es que no quiera, es que, like, my mom is extremely, I think she has ADD or something. No, not ADD, it's OCD. OCD.
OCD, yeah.
It's like when,
Which
like,
everything has to be clean.
everything has to be spotless, dude. There's nobody that, like, she doesn't have kids around or anything, you know?
Sí,
Pero todos los días limpia and
está
everything
limpiando.
is super, like, you go to my mom's house, limpiecito todo. Like, everything, el techo,
That's
las cabinets. She
crazy.
goes on top of the cabinets and cleans the top of it.
That's how my mom is too.
She goes like la señora que
Deep
she,
clean, yeah.
like the lady, like the landlord. She loves her, you know.
Porque
She
sí, pues
loves
tiene
her
todo
because she
su...
takes care of. Así que siempre que vengo a su apartamento está bien limpio y huele bien bonito y you know like y siempre and she goes outside and she sweeps
She's sweeping
everything,
out
dude,
there.
and she sweeps the neighbor, she sweeps everything.
What? That's crazy.
You know, and then sometimes like she's
That's how my mom is too. And then she'll like, dude, like sometimes she'll get up with the vacuum.
yeah.
Y ahí anda en las ventanas, dude. Es que entra polvo y pues, estoy agarrando todo el polvito y ahí anda, dude. En el techo y luego ahí
The
anda.
only
Dude, she gets tired. I know she gets tired, but she can't go take a break. She
yeah.
won't.
The only
It's
time I've
weird.
ever been like that was when I was sick and I was taking medication and it had caffeine in it and I didn't know. And I have been taking them regularly. I think I told you, no? I
No.
woke up, I was sick and I woke up and I was so jittery, you know? And then I remember going to the restroom and I saw a little bit of mold. I guess, you know, kind of like when
Yeah.
pues no me puse a limpiar todo and talking to myself, like talking to the mold, like, you're not going to hurt us and I'm not going to let you. And like fucking on in el techo, the ceiling
You're
del
crazy.
restroom, on because it had rain and I guess we had like, it gathers on the
Yeah.
windows, right? But no me puse a limpiar and I was talking to myself, like that.
Like all hyper
Like,
wired.
but I'm not going to let you. You're not going to hurt my family.
You're all like, ah,
And I
fucking I knew that.
remember, like, super, and I remember like my brothers were outside. You know, they were outside playing. It was like a Saturday or something in the morning. And they're outside playing and they just saw me in the window, go like, you know, like singing. And then they're just like, what the fuck's
What the
going on with
fuck's
her?
wrong with her? Yeah. You're all like,
And
ugh, wired.
and then I remember like once I was done with my crazy shit, I was laying on the couch and my aunt was laying on the other couch and she was snoring. She was fucking gone. Like then
Knocked out.
and I remember seeing her like knocked out, you know, and seeing her and just like thinking, man, I really want to go to sleep, you know?
Yeah.
But she looked so relaxed and I was just like, fuck, man, I was so envious, you know, like I wanted to sleep. But I was
Ay.
so wired.
Yeah, like
I
all fucked up.
couldn't.
You're like, ugh.
I need to do some more cleaning.
You're like, oh my god, I forgot the bathroom. I forgot. Maybe the neighbor's house is messy.
I'm not gonna let them get hurt either.
They're cool, so
They're cool. I can't do that to them.
you go in there, they find you fucking scrubbing their floor. Hi,
They're
hola, buenas
calling the
tardes.
cops. Hola,
No.
señora, oiga, ¿no tiene pañsol? Oiga, ¿no tiene?
Señora, anduvo buscando en toda su casa y no tiene nada de Pine Sol aquí. Fui a mi casa, agarré, fui y le limpié y...
Oiga, pero no necesito nada más. A ver,
¿No tiene ahí café o algo? Oye.
no necesito nada más, oiga. No conoce a alguien que necesite ayuda.
Que tenga Pine Sol porque ya me acabé el mío también.
Venga, voy a la tienda. ¿Necesita algo? ¿Tiene mandado?
Si quiere le cocino, mire.
Ya le puse los frijoles ahí.
Ya le lavé, ya le...
La ropa ya está lavada, ya está doblada.
Las camas
todo.
las tendí, mire, todo le lavé, también las sábanas. Les compuse la lavadora de tanto lavar, pero...
Ah, ya. Pero ya se
Fuck,
la
dude.
inglés también. Ay,
Ay, ay, ay, ya la saqué, che mecánica y mire, como nueva.
man, I should really get some of those right now. I need to
Imagine.
clean my place.
Dude, there's no way any kind of caffeine will make me feel like that. I ain't gonna extra clean like that.
No, it was funny. I remember that, and I told my aunt, and then she was laughing. She's like, "What the fuck is going on with you?"
You're all talking to yourself
I'm
in the
like,
corner.
"¿Qué
Ay, te dije que te iba a quitar, ¿eh? Ya no estás ahí. Ay, toda rascante. You're crazy. Ya, toda
on the
rascante.
roof, on the ceiling. Te dije, cabrona. Oh god.
I know, you're crazy.
It was funny, dude. I was like,
I'm sure, dude. I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Let's
you
start
know,
then.
and then we talk about our mothers and how thankful we are because they stuck around. They could have left our asses too.
Yeah, they could have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Effin' Adulting. I'm Lorena.
I'm Crystal.
Welcome. So,
Hi, guys.
hi. Another week.
Another
dollar.
week.
Another week, another dollar.
Oh,
Or
baby.
in my case, another week, no dollars.
But you're already
How
like
many
training,
things?
so
Yeah.
not yet, not yet.
Not yet. They're coming though.
Mm-hmm.
Feel them. I feel them in my wallet.
I'll fill them in mine too because you're sending me some. Yeah.
You're like,
You
it's
know
time
it.
for me to start getting paid.
Make it rain over here. Woo!
Right?
Yeah, no. I'm just
So,
kidding.
Crystal, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about mothers who don't want to be
Mothers.
around, decide not to be around their kids. Yeah, they don't want to be mothers.
Yeah. So basically, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
We're recording on Saturday, so tomorrow
Will
is
be.
May 9th, right? And it'll be Mother's
Yes.
Day
Mhm.
tomorrow. So whoever is lucky enough to be around their mother, because I'm not, just give them a big old hug and a kiss and go celebrate them, you know?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to because I'm in training. So I really can't,
Go anywhere.
go anywhere and
Not
have
yet.
to focus on it. But I am gonna obviously call her and wish her happy Mother's Day and my
The best, the
aunt
best.
and So yeah, we're gonna be talking about mothers who choose to either voluntarily give up their rights, I guess, custody of
Yeah,
their
like they
children
don't
to the father. The opposite. The mother's the one that chooses to. You know what?
to not be around.
To not
their-
be around, or like not even that they don't want to know their children. It's just that they don't want to have them live with them. So hey, you deal. Your dad deals with you most of the time, and you can
You
come
come
and visit
visit.
me. But the dad has whole custody of the children.
Like have 'em
So
every
we're going to be
day.
talking about that. The reason why I wanted to talk about that, obviously, it is Mother's Day. We want to talk about happy stuff. But I want to also bring up the topic of mothers who choose not to be like 24/7
Involved.
involved
100%.
100% with their children, which I feel like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I mean, it's not that it's not a big deal because I think children do need both of their parents, but they'll be fine with either one too.
Mhm.
Because I've been brought up with one parent,
Yeah.
as a single mom, and I feel like we grew up fine. Yes, we struggled a lot. And she struggled
Yeah.
a lot because she had like a lot of mouths to feed and and we felt that pressure to help her out and stuff, but I think we grew up a lot faster and we're more
Yeah.
mature because of it. So if she can do it, so does the dad can do it fine by
Yeah,
himself
also as
too.
well. Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that necessarily because you don't have both of your parents are gonna be a fucked up kid,
Yeah, no, it
because you
doesn't
can be
mean that at all.
fine. So I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I feel like some women are not meant to be mothers and they so happen to be mothers, have children because of different circumstances, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they want.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like
And honestly, like I know you sent me a
a
video.
video.
It was I think like 17 minutes long.
Hmm.
And it had, a couple of women or whatever. But I think honestly, like that is so much better, like to actually give the dad the custody or whatever than I mean, there's a lot of people out there who throw their babies in the trash or just leave
Who
them
just
somewhere.
harm their
Yeah.
babies?
Yeah, like you could just easily, give the rights to your baby to someone else that could actually, that actually wants to love it and take care of it than,
Yeah.
so like I think that honestly, like, yeah, it's everybody to each its own. So, but I think it's a lot better than, what other people
As we're not mothers, so this is our point of view. Like we don't I could just imagine like being so stressed out about changing careers and all that. That stresses me out. I could just imagine having the responsibility of kids,
taking care. Yeah, and
taking
it's
care of
forever.
kids, and you have that responsibility on yourself. And this is why I feel like sometimes some mothers don't know how to handle it or they can't. It's just so much that they choose to do those crazy shit where they commit suicide with their children.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to, like, they're so stressed out, they can't see the way out, that their way out is,
Is to
or
do
they're like,
something.
is to harm themselves, but they don't want to leave their children behind, so they take them with them. And it's sad, but it's just like if you had children and then you find yourself like, you know what, this is not me, this is, it's not that it was a mistake, but it's just not who I am. Because some
Yeah.
people, some women, just because you're a woman doesn't mean you're mother. Yeah, motherly instincts.
Mm-hmm. That's
Like
true.
we're not all born with that. So once you have your children and you happen to be like, okay, this is not for me. I can't do this. It's perfectly fine to, hey, you had them with me too, so go ahead and take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't think it should be frowned upon, but it's very rare that you see that. And I'm pretty sure, like, we're talking about this video that we saw that I sent you, and it's from the channel. It's on YouTube, and it's the topic. It's called Topic, the channel, and it's like taboo, like women who choose to not be mothers and give out voluntarily, like their custody and all that, right?
Yeah.
Their children's custody to the father or like to a family member or whatever. And they choose to do their own lives, like live their lives, and they're just much happier like that. And I saw this, and there was one of the ladies that said, when I tell people this, they look
They
like,
think bad
they're
right
like, oh,
away.
like
Like
like,
what a
oh, you're a
bitch,
bad, yeah. But who are we to judge? You don't know. You don't know. Yes, there's people who are gonna be like, well, shit, you had your kid, that's your responsibility, and this and that. Yes, I understand that. You chose to have the child. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And the child didn't choose to be here. You chose that. But we're only human.
Yeah, because I
We
think on
have
some of those videos, one I think maybe a few of the girls it wasn't planned to
Mhm.
have kids or whatever, like
Yeah.
where it was kind of like she was married and then she got pregnant.
She just, yeah, she was, I forgot what religion she is, but she said that her family or her religion, or they're mostly like, they view women as, that's their like thing,
They have to do it.
you
Yeah.
get married, you have family, and that's it, like that's what they're brought up to be. And she had other, dreams and stuff. She wanted to do other things. And even like her family members, like the women, would sat her down and told her, "Well, what do you think? You think you're so pretty? Do you think you should freaking take advantage that somebody wants you, you know?"
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's why she was like, you know what, fuck it. This is what I guess I have to do. And she ended up having a child, getting married, whatever. And then she chose to give custody to the
The
dad
dad.
because you have the right to feel this way too, like as a woman, you don't have to be like,
Like it's not something that you already know that oh, I'm gonna be okay with this. It's not
yeah,
something, like I mean, I'm not saying also like it's cool, to do that. Like in a way I kind of see it like, yeah, I mean, poor kid, but anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say actually. But
no,
yeah.
but I'm saying like, okay, so men have been doing this for the longest time,
Forever.
forever. And it's not that it's acceptable, but it's just like, oh, okay, he's not part of your family. That's it, like you never see him and that's it. And they kind of like,
And it's something like,
they're
yeah,
like, oh,
whatever.
okay, yeah, I'm done here. I made the baby and I go and make other babies somewhere else. And,
And
you
I want
know,
those either.
and then like they come back whenever the fuck they want. And if they want a relationship with your kid, they can have it. And, that whole period of struggles and like raising the child, they wipe their hands and like, oh no, I don't want to deal with that, but I'll come back later. When
Yeah.
everything's already, oh, they're grown up, they can take care
Everything's
of
all good.
themselves, and and then they come back later wanting a relationship. No, like yes, it's cool because you want to get to know your parent, but it's like, okay, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
You get that a lot, the dad. But you don't see that often, like the mom doing that because we feel the pressure that, okay, it's our baby. We had our baby.
Yeah.
A nosotros nos dolió. Like it hurt me to have my baby. We feel attached. But not everybody feels attached.
Mm-hmm.
So are we to like make these people, these mothers who don't have that connection with the baby, have to like a huevo
Like
stay with
do
your
this.
baby because then people are going to talk shit or people are gonna but people are not
Yeah.
around you 24/7. You don't know
And
your thoughts, people,
like how you
what
actually
you're
feel
I would
about.
rather be with my dad than with my mom. If I know, growing up with my mom, I didn't have any type of attachment with her. Like she didn't know how to raise me. She didn't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I noticed that, okay, there was no love, it was very dry, very like one-sided, I guess, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
would have
Then you would
rather
have
had
rather.
been with someone who wanted me there, that someone
That
who's
makes
not going
sense.
to want you
Yeah.
there. So you have to put yourself in their situation because like I'm saying, we don't have children. So we don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you like, oh, this is how you feel when you have a baby because this is how
We
I would
don't
feel.
know. Yeah.
This is how you feel. You don't know how I'm gonna feel.
Like,
Pero
yeah, and
know
it's
how they
true. It's true because I know like me and you have had conversations about having kids.
yeah.
And I feel like my thoughts are different from your thoughts. Like
Mhm.
I personally don't like wouldn't want to have a baby, like a kid. You know what I mean? Like I thought about it, like, oh, maybe I should, but it's just that temporary second. And then I'm like, oh, it goes away. And you know what I mean? I think about
Yeah.
it. I thought about it and I'm like, no, I don't think I can do this. I honestly don't think I can. It's so forever, and I've
Yeah.
said it to you a lot of times. It's so forever. And if something were to happen where like, which probably would never happen, but you never know, like if I get pregnant, I would still feel that way. Dude, fuck. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like I don't know, like I wouldn't know how to feel because I don't know how I'm gonna feel after I have it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's the
But right now I
thing.
don't want it, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want it. So
Like how our mothers say, es que, I'm gonna say in Spanish because es que tú no sabes cómo se quieren los hijos. You don't know how much you love your child. It hurts you so much to have them. So it's like you don't know how it feels to have, like, to. And
Yeah,
it's like true.
but again, look, you see, she's
But you don't
for
like
her it
you're
was different than
yeah.
other. Yeah,
So then they make you feel guilty because I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying like I feel like they would make someone feel guilty if they don't feel that connection with their child. Like, oh, you're fucking something's wrong with you
you're like
because
a horrible
you're
person.
supposed
Yeah,
to have a connection with your child and you're supposed to love them. Like, and I'm not saying that you don't love because it
but
hurt
some people
you,
are just not meant to
but
be
some people just
parents.
don't have connections. So it's like, yeah, I'm able to have a kid and I had the kid but there's no connection there. And then that's where postpartum depression comes in, where people. And I think who was it? What's her name? The girl from I, her name is the Blue Lagoon. ¿Cómo se llama?
She's really pretty.
Brooke Shields.
Oh, okay.
So Brooke Shields actually like a long time ago. She came out with I think it was Oprah and she was talking about her postpartum depression that she had like she was so bad where she would envision throwing her baby across the room and having the baby just land on the wall and like drop. And those are the thoughts that go through people. I'm not
Yeah,
saying every because I've never dealt with that because I never had a child again. But I'm saying like these are like that's how big it was for her, the postpartum depression, and she talked about it. I think she wrote a book. But it's just like these women feel so guilty that she was like, I know it's temporary sometimes because for her, like it was, like it was postpartum depression and they eventually they get better
yeah.
and then eventually they grow to have some sort of connection with the child and then eventually it just happens. But what if it doesn't happen? Are we expect or do we expect these women to somehow get this connection with this child or like
Yeah,
I would rather this like how you're saying, I would rather this child go to a happy like a family that wants the child and not, because you never know. These
then
things
be there
happen
a
all the
werewolf just
time.
because.
These things happen all
Yeah,
the time where women harm their children because they see no way out or they're going through the depression, postpartum depression, and they harm their children. And it's just I feel like as human beings, we shouldn't be so judgmental, like right away,
mhm.
look, oh,
Like we
how many
don't
of
know
you,
what's going on. Yeah,
how many of you would give up custody of your children? You're a horrible person. And it's like, no, you don't know her story.
yeah. Like a horrible person would be someone who would harm their child. Like I would think, like you don't do
Mhm.
that. And I mean, I get it. Like if they give away the kid is because obviously they cared enough about the kid to be in somebody else's
To,
care.
yeah,
Like you can't do it, so
yeah.
somebody else, is gonna do it.
I'm going to read a quick article from today. It's called Today Moms Reveal Why They Gave Up Their Children. Some stereotypes die harder than others. One of the most endearing is the widespread perception that women who give up custody of their children are horrible mothers. Rebecca Spicuglia lives with that perception every day. For many years after she relinquished custody of her son to his father, she tried to avoid them even discussing the topic. But as more and more women make the socially unorthodox decision to give up primary custody of their children, Spaguglia has found that people are gradually coming to understand that sometimes the best thing a mother can do for her child is let go of them. Telling people that I was a non-custodial mom, I found it to be a conversation stopper, Spicuglia told today's Meredith Vieira Wednesday in New York. For a long time, I didn't really feel comfortable talking about it. It says growing trend. Mothers currently retain custody of the children in approximately 70% of divorces. Again, this was back in 2009. But even though that's the majority, that still leaves a large of growing number of women who do not retain custody. The more I talk about it, the more I find that people's eyes are open to the reality, which is that over 2 million non-custodial moms are in America right now, and it is definitely increasing, Spicuglia said. People are recognizing that fathers can be amazing primary caregivers, and we shouldn't sell the men short. Specuglia is one of several women profiled in the Marie Claire magazine article about the growing phenomenon on non custodial mothers. Joanna Coles, the magazine's editor in chief, said that response to the story has been generally positive. I think this is a story that's been gradually creeping up. It's increasingly a trend, especially as society becomes less judgmental of men who want to step into that role, said Coles, who joins Specuglia on today. We've had a few people who are just like, I'll never understand it. It's insane. What kind of mother is doing this? But I think it's very important to lift the taboo on it and to say that there are real stories and that happen to real people and the children are just fine. Young Motherhood Specuglia said that that's the case with her son. Oscar, who was born when she was just 18 years old, Specuglia married her son's father, a restaurant worker in Santa Maria, California, and started taking classes at the local community college. But she wanted to build a career and travel. Her husband, on the other hand, wanted to stay at home surrounded by his extended family and working in the job in which he was familiar and comfortable. When Spicuglia was accepted as a student at Berkeley, her husband did not want to move and she didn't want to give up what could have been her one chance for the top level education. So she moved alone to Berkeley, leaving Oscar. Then three. With his father, at first she was racked by guilt over her decision, but with time came to see it as the best way to ensure Oscar's well being. For me, I made the best decision that I could in the best interest of my son. As parents, that's what we have to do. It makes parenting the hardest job possible, Spicuglia said. Another woman profiled in the magazine, Maria Housden, would agree. She gave up custody of her children when she divorced 11 years ago, and like Spicuglia, she found it to be a traumatic decision. Housden had also married young at age 20 and would have four children, but problems in the marriage began
Dang.
to show when her oldest daughter, Hannah, was diagnosed with cancer just a month before her third birthday. 1 year later, Hannah was dead and Housden was devastated. Though she stayed in the marriage for 3 years and had additional children, the marriage had begun to deteriorate. In a separate story reported by today's Natalie Morales, Housen said it was her husband who suggested that he become the primary caregiver when they divorced. Having grown up with the image of a stay at home mom as being her only proper role, Housen had trouble comprehending the idea. My first reaction was I was horrified, Housen told Morales. What I was afraid of was what other people would think. What kind of mother would leave her kids? Like Specuglia, Housen met with open hostility when she finally made the decision to be a non custodial mom. She remembers walking into a school meeting and having conversations stop when she passed. It was like this zone of silence as she walked through the room, she said. Now, as her daughters are in or approaching adulthood, Housen has a rich relationship with them. I do think that our children have blossomed and grown beautifully. I hope that the decisions that were made were part of that, she said. Mixed reactions. Spicuglia told a similar story to Vieira about giving up primary custody to her husband when they divorced. Now living in New York, she sees Oscar, who is 11, during school holidays and he spends his summers with her. She remains on good terms with her former husband, and his support of the arrangement is vital. We have a great relationship, Spicuglia told Vieira, speaking of her son. He spends school vacations with me. He's here during the summer and on Christmas break. We also communicate all the time. We call, we text, we have a very active communication. She still meets with resistance and disapproval from some. When she asked to be listed as an emergency contact for her son at school, she said the a vice principal was openly hostile to her. On the other hand, her school's principal was supportive. The ambivalence of the part of others, particularly other women, is understandable, said clinical psychologist Judith Sills, who joined the conversation. Women are quick to judge other women as mothers, even if they go to the office. So you can imagine if they're giving up custody. Sales told Vieira, it comes from a very serious emotional place. We have a very deeply held social feeling that the mother child bond is sacred and good moms protect and nurture their children. But perception doesn't always jibe with reality. She went on. The fact is, some good moms can protect their children best by recognizing someone else is the better parent. Still said. Maybe at this moment, maybe they're emotionally overwhelmed, which was what I was telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally overwhelmed, maybe to get financially on their feet, maybe because in a divorce, mom is desperate to leave the house, but she knows the kids need stability. That is the ability to make a rational individual decision against a social tide. It takes a lot of strength. Still said that children look at such situations differently than adults. For adults, it's about social norms. For children, it's about whether they have a happy and stable home, regardless of which parent they're living with.
Mm-hmm.
Becuglia asked that before people judge, they consider that there are a lot of factors to play. I think that the important thing to remember is that child custody decisions are very complex and every family situation is different, she said. In her case, it worked out well. Our story is not a sad one. Spicuglia assured Vieira. It's a story of a happy family that makes it work. The end. That was really,
Yeah, it gives you like a lot of information about like, I mean, I'm glad that you read that because like I'm sure a lot of people will, change their mind about it. It happens, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure it happens and it's not like they're not gonna be a part of them. Obviously with these stories they still see the kids,
and
just
yeah,
just not as often, but still
but it works for
they're
them.
there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're there, you
Just
know.
like how the other way around, like the parents are sometimes, yeah, the dad doesn't live with the mom. They're divorced,
Mm-hmm.
but they see each other like, once in
Yeah.
a while and vacation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine. I mean, they have a good civil relationship, and the kids are better off with the mom, or the kids are better off with the
With a dad,
dad.
either way.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing.
Either when they're either way they're taken care of. Like,
But it's just like people. I feel like if people are told like, "Oh, somebody has custody of my children," they right away feel like, "What did you do to your children for you to lose custody of your child?"
that's
And
true.
then they say like, "No, it's voluntarily." Oh wow.
So yeah, so it makes you
Oh,
look
so you don't
worse.
what? Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, no.
First of all, like I honestly wouldn't even talk about that issue to nobody that like I didn't have to talk about, because at the end of the day, yeah,
It's
people
none
are
of your
always gonna judge
business.
you. It's not your business. Yeah, exactly. It's nobody's business, and people are gonna judge you anyways. You know what I mean? So I probably wouldn't even.
Regardless, it doesn't matter. People are always going to find something to talk about,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like people are always gonna talk shit.
because it gives you the perspective of the psychologist. Like, hey,
Like
that it takes a lot of strength for a woman to give up custody of the child and
that's
be making a decision of, what, this
like they're
kid
better off.
better off
Yeah.
with the other parent.
Yeah, that's true. And there's nothing
When
wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like, they decided, they made a choice.
I feel like there's more thought that goes into the mother's mind when they're making that decision than when a man kind of just takes off.
Yeah, no, I
He
get you.
like literally
Yeah.
takes off because he wants to fucking just take off. Like,
Right.
I don't want the responsibility and that's it. Fuck
Yeah.
that. And they just don't, they leave. And I feel like as a woman, you just kind of think differently and we put more thought into it. And it's like, it's a hard decision to make. It's complicated. And you
Yeah, I
kind
get you.
of run by it a
But
little
then
bit
again, she's
more.
also thinking about the kid's best interest. Like, this
Yeah.
is what I think is going to be better for my child. So if
Like,
that
why am I
child,
gonna be
yeah,
stuck there, not doing anything that I want to do? I can be a mother and still pursue
what
whatever
you,
I want to do, grow as a
yeah,
human being because by you being a mother doesn't stop you from being yourself. Just
or
because you're a
yeah,
mother, it doesn't mean that you stop having dreams and doing you. Yes, it's true. You put aside a lot of you to give to your child, you know?
Yeah.
But and it's super like, we see it with our moms, they I'm pretty sure they probably told you too when they're mad, like, hey, like I could have been this or
Yeah.
you
And I
know
left all this for you.
yes,
And
we're left like, well, shit, you should have done it. I'm sorry,
yeah.
but at the same time, I feel them, and this is where my selfishness comes to play because I want to do me, and if I have a child, I feel like I'm just gonna stop, and this is what a lot of women
Doing
do.
you. Yeah. Because
Doing
now it's all
you,
about your
pursuing your
child.
dream, and it's all about your child and taking care of them and doing. But why can't you do both like that? And this lady, like she wanted to pursue her
Her
education, and
dreams.
and
And
she needed to move, and she wasn't gonna be like, no. The guy was not willing to move, so she was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go do this
go
because
do this.
at the end it's gonna benefit my child, because
Yeah. I get you.
so she was still doing her. You know what I mean?
She was still doing
She
her
found a
and
good
still,
balance.
yeah, because they were still hanging out with her. Like, obviously, they didn't mind being around her because they would spend the summers, Christmas vacations with her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds to me like they had a good relationship. So, at the end of the day, it's
She
nobody's
got
business, and she's still doing what she has to do,
she's
like,
still a mother.
yeah,
She's not your typical mother that's there 24/7,
but she's
you
still
know?
there. Yeah.
But she's still the mother, and she's still providing for her child, and she found a way to provide to her child by still pursuing her dreams, and
And
you know
now,
what I mean?
yeah,
At the same time, like I say that, but then I feel like, man, if I was a mother, would I wanna not see my child grow up, like miss all that time, with my child. Like that whole growing up, like you not being with your child, you miss all those little things that they do. And all those
yeah.
little things are the ones that attach you to your kid.
That's yeah, and I think
You
that's what it
grow
is
more.
too. I'm sure, like I'm saying, like our parents, for example, like they're a really good example because I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm
It
sure
wasn't
there was
easy.
times where they were like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I can do this by myself. The stress over like being the only parents because our dads obviously didn't. Well,
Yeah,
my dad didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? I don't know about.
artists.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he didn't, he wanted to drink, so he was drinking. And I'm sure, that there was times where my mom was like, what I get into or fuck this, you know what I mean? But she was the only one that was taking care of us. And I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure everybody feels bad. And I think that because like they basically got attached to us,
Mhm.
like struggling with us, you know what I mean? Like you get attached, obviously, you know what I mean? But we don't know what they were really thinking. Like maybe, I don't know,
Maybe
you know what I mean?
those thoughts ran in there,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm sure they
thinking of
do.
things like that. Like maybe they shouldn't be with me. Maybe they someone, I could leave them.
And especially because, yeah, like I'm saying, like I'm telling you, we're poor. Like,
Like,
damn, like I'm sure, like she probably thought about okay, maybe, I'm not fit or whatever. But I mean, she did it. You know what I mean? I'm sure everybody thinks about it.
yeah,
It's not easy, obviously, dude. It's a kid. It's a little human. You have to feed and be there for. So I don't know. Like it's just more power to them if they think it's better for the dad. You know what I mean?
no. And that's what I'm saying. It's such a complicated thing where you can see both sides. You can see the side of like, man, if my mom did it, if my aunt did it, because I grew up with my aunt, so, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because my aunt was a single parent
Mm-hmm.
with 3 kids of her own, plus me, that I wasn't hers. You know what I mean? 4, like an added mouth to feed.
And
Her
yeah,
single.
by herself. And
Wow, like you think about it and you're like, fuck. How the fuck did she do it? Because four
dude, and
kids,
that's,
dude, and you're single. And we had to move a lot. We struggled a lot, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, I get
But
you.
then I look at it and I'm like, fuck.
Dude,
Estas
like,
pinches viejas se lavaron las manos, güey.
Y no, dude. Yes,
Así
dude.
como los viejos, ¿no? Que te
Así que ya,
they
ya.
fucking just like, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna go pursue my dreams, and then you're stuck with the baby and whatever. And it's like, okay, but the man does it all the time. The women, it's like a double standard, you know? If the man
Mhm.
could do it, the women could do it too. But then you look at our moms and you're like, fuck, son bien chingonas, you know?
You know what, dude? And
Bien
yes,
chingonas
because,
because you're like, fuck. And my mom,
dude.
struggled too. And,
Y luego
it's
solas, dude.
just,
Like, that cabrón. If I could barely take care of myself without any kids, dude,
mhm.
I can't even fucking buy a house. Like, my mom, dude, like, and your mom obviously had places for us to live. We had food, we had no matter what kind of clothes we had clothes, like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? We struggled, yeah, like, but damn, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think about it and I'm just like, fuck, I don't know how they made it, dude. Like,
And they're
honestly,
these
like,
little small ladies. You look at them and, well, your
they're
mom's not
little.
that. Your mom's
She
not that tall either,
is.
huh?
She's 5'1", I think.
They're tiny, tiny little
Yeah.
ladies. And
It's
I say
crazy.
my mom, I mean, she struggled, she struggled all her life too, but she had her, her man, my stepdad, and, like on and off and shit, in the beginning or whatever. But, my aunt, she got divorced and then she had boyfriends and stuff, but
Yeah, well, yeah,
she's
they
always
have
kind of been
to.
single, and I've lived my entire life with my aunt, so it's not that I'm saying that my mom never struggled because she did, and with my brothers too and everything, but just living with my aunt and knowing that we had to move a lot and me being there living with her and seeing how we struggled and being 14 years old and we found out, hey man, we can work,
Yeah,
and fucking my sister and my sister and I working and bringing home like $400 that night, like
yeah, it
four
was
hundred,
cool.
500 each, and giving her this money, and she would be like, oh fuck yeah, like it would be a help,
A
like finding
big
out.
help,
But
yeah.
like you're 14 years old and are able to help out your mom or
It feels good
and it's like
because
fuck,
you
because
saw it, you see it,
I can't imagine myself being right now with 4 kids or 3 kids or 2 kids,
dude. No,
struggling and
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I think about it, dude, and I'm like, there is no way, dude. Like,
all the
how the hell
fuck.
do these ladies do it? Like,
And I know
well, did
that,
it?
and
You
it sucks,
know?
and it's crazy because you think about it that there was days where they would work so hard. My aunt had like 2 jobs at a time,
Hmm.
and we were like left with, hey, take care of the kids and do this and do that and blah 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 and like still having to come home and then deal with us. Hey tía, es que no me hacen caso, y es que eso lo otro, like, and
Yeah,
they're already
yeah.
like this,
And then tired to top
and
it
then
off, dude.
tired, and
Like,
then fucking, and I remember those days where she would just cry sometimes, and I wasn't really the one, because my sister Carmen was the one that was more like with her, como que it was her confidant, like
hmm,
my aunt would. And it shouldn't be like that because we're children, right? We shouldn't know about these things. We shouldn't know
yeah.
stress. We shouldn't know like what's going on. We
Yeah,
should be
but you know what?
children,
Yeah, dude, and like it, and then honestly, like, even if they don't tell you that they're
You
stressing, like, you can
know.
see it,
And
you
that's the
feel it,
thing.
you,
Carmen was always like that. Carmen was very like there with my aunt, and I'm telling you, my aunt would talk to her like if she was an adult, and she always talked to us like if we were adults, So we never like kind of we were still children. We still played around and we still had, but we were
but
always
we were already,
aware.
yeah, what
We were
was
always
going
aware of
on.
the situation and what was going on,
Yeah,
And if they told us, "Hey, you need to grab your shit because we have to leave." We have to
we
leave, and
have
we
to
weren't
leave.
asking questions. We weren't like crying. We weren't.
You
No,
were like,
we
we're
knew
leaving.
like,
You
hey, we
knew,
have to
yeah.
go. We have to leave, and whatever, you know?
We're leaving and it is what it is.
You make your little friends in school and then you leave. That's why we never really had like super close,
Friends, yeah, because I was
friends
always
because
everywhere too.
yeah,
I went to a lot of schools. I went to Escontrillas, to Rojas, to Campestre. I went to Thomas Manor and then I stayed there, but we were everywhere.
I went
Y
to
pues nos corrían porque no teníamos para la renta,
pues
you
sí,
know.
güey.
So ahí andamos.
Ahí andamos como
Y,
sea, güey.
híjole, dude, it was crazy, but
It's just everything is like it's not black and white, you know? Everything, every situation, every relationship, everything is always like however fits to you, like whatever is works for you, you know, because at the end of the day, it's you and it's your life, you know?
mhm.
And if that's what it works for you and your relationship and, you
And the
know,
kids,
and the
then by all
kid,
means, that's gonna work out.
as
Yeah.
long as the child, like how the psychologist was saying, like children don't see it like that. They just see where they're going to be happy. And, you know, it doesn't matter they're going to be with this parent or this parent, just as
As long
long
as
as they're happy and they
they
have a
got what they
childhood.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should just be like children.
Yeah.
You know, why the fuck do we grow up? This is the reason why we have F in adulting.
This is the reason.
It all comes back to F in adulting.
It all comes back around. You
Yeah.
could put it the other way, and guess where you're gonna meet?
F in
Boom.
adulting.
F and adulting, man.
This episode's a labor of love to dedicate to all our mothers. It doesn't matter what type of mother you are, what you're still a mother, you know? It doesn't matter if you don't have full custody of your child, if you know, if whatever works for you. Um, it's just, you know, we're just in awe of our mothers
Yeah, I am.
because they could have easily chosen to do that. They decided not to. And, you know, we don't know what went through their minds at times where
Dude, for
they
real.
they might have thought that too. Like, hey, you know, like how we were talking about, like that might have crossed their minds. I mean, they just decided to stick with it
Stick with us, yeah, and just
and
deal with it, and we're
deal with
grown.
it. And it's insane because now you think about it, and yeah, they gave up a lot. You know, I don't know what type of dreams they had. You don't know because they don't talk about it. Because, like I said, the time they became mothers was the time that they just, you know, I have to work and whatever I have to do, and you know, and as long as my kids are fine and they have everything that they need, they put aside their
Their
lives,
needs and
their needs, their lives, their wants, their dreams for us, and it's like it's sad to think about it because I don't know if I've ever had a conversation with my mom or my aunt where I've like asked her like, hey, what did you want to be? Like if you didn't have me, what do you think you would have done? Like what career would you have pursued? Where do you think you would have been? You know, like if for some reason you didn't have us, we'd all should have that conversation with our parents, you know?
I think I
Your dad or
have.
your mom. Yeah. What did your mom say?
I mean, well, I think I honestly don't remember what she said she wanted to do, but like basically like I don't know, she said she would have done everything different, you know what I mean? Like I think I don't remember exactly what she said she wanted to do, but that she would do everything different. And then she stayed quiet for a while and then she was like, no, but I would have still want to had to, you know, like so she's fine with it now, you know what I mean? Like she's cool with how everything went. And like she did tell me that she did struggle, and she says she regrets that I guess she didn't get rid of my dad sooner because of like everything that happened or whatever. And she's like, that's one thing I guess that she regretted the most. And she told me that I put you guys through this. She's like, I put you guys through this and I could have just easily, you know, like stopped it. Yeah. But so like I've talked to her about stuff. So
what would you want to say to your mom your mom, your mom on
That
Mother's
I love
Day.
her so much, and I thank her for always being there for all of us through thick and thin. That she means the world to me, and I love her so much, and that I'm always gonna be there for
Oh, you're gonna cry.
her.
You're
No,
gonna cry. Oh, your phone wanted me too. Ditto.
cállate tú. Ay, no te creas.
Es mi mamá, no tuya. Y
And you, what do you want to
yo,
say to your mama?
I want to tell her that I love her and I love my aunt. I'm gonna say my mom,
First, your mom.
I love you and I miss you. And I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
Ay,
ay,
ay. No,
cosita.
te amo
Ven,
y te
corazón.
extraño. And I wish we would have, like, I wish I would have grown with her, grown up
Yeah.
and been raised by her. I'm not saying that I don't, anything about being raised with my aunt, but, you know, um, just that I appreciate our relationship now. I love you. I appreciate your advice because she's always there whenever I need anything. Like, she just kind of clears my head and she knows what to tell me to kind of get me back on track.
Yeah.
And my aunt, I love
Oh,
her. I love my aunt and I appreciate everything she's done for us. And, it's something that, how do you
yeah.
give back so much that they've given you? It's just all you can
Like
do
everything,
is,
basically, they gave us everything, basically, you know what I mean?
so all we can do is like be there for them. And whenever, like, I hate for my mom or my aunt to be mad at me. So when that happens, and I could just avoid it, or if I could just, say I'm sorry and make things better, it's like I always try to do that. So just like try to be there for your mom because you never know, you don't know.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it just kind of sucks to when you're far away, you take for granted a lot, like when you have them there.
Mm-hmm, that's
So
true.
that when you're far away, you're like, fuck, I wish,
I should have, could have, would have.
you
Yeah.
know. And then
Like,
it's like everybody does their own lives, and then you take for granted like having your parents there or your mom. You don't call them as often, or they're like, "Hey, what the fuck? We haven't heard from you," or. I think we like tend to put more focus on friends and like people that we're around more often, and we tend to forget to like, hey, give your mom a call.
call them right now.
Call them and say I love you, and not just for Mother's Day, but every fucking day.
And even if you can every day, like
Every
every other
week,
day,
every
just make sure it doesn't go like past that week, because that's when, I mean,
and
I
then
would be like, what?
when you guys don't have them, that's when you're like, fuck, I should have taken
Should
time
have done
to.
this and messaged her, called her.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. I hope you
Happy
guys
Mother's
spend.
Days, everyone.
You guys are celebrated like you guys should, and it's a Happy
Don't
Mother's
drink
Day
and
to.
drive.
Time to be alive, start a podcast, become a DJ, try and fill the void inside. I'd be lying if I didn't say that sounds nice. Wake up, check your phone, but the batteries die.